of Banished Pile. We are here in Omaha at the Omaha Regional. We got Bruce here who got 7th place, and you were playing...
A Synchro Pile.
A Synchro Pile. I think it's a little bit more than that. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to let you hold your little spice secret here, and then let's get into the deck profile.
So I'm essentially playing SPRIGHT with Synchro. Honestly, I think it's a route that needs to be explored more, especially in the next couple of sets. There's going to be a couple of cards that just make this deck even better. And the fact that I topped with it now just shows that that deck's going to be so good in the future. But into the deck profile. So we ran 3 blue, 3 jet, 2 red, 1 carrot. This is like a super necessary ratio. 2 red is super necessary because if it gets banished off of cash stuff, you need that red. But the thing that happened most with red is that I would summon it, I would pass my turn, someone would attack into it, and I'd be like, cool, starter summon the other red, and then they wouldn't be able to play. So it was just really nice having 2. You never need 2 carrot. This is a perfect ratio. I was thinking about running pixies for a while, but it wasn't good enough. Then of course the 3 starter. 1 Gamburst. I added this in literally 2 days ago, and it's won me so many games. Just the fact that you can search something that ends the game is insane in this deck. Smashers, you need to run it, and then 1 Double Cross. Double Cross is necessary in this deck because you run the Newman lock, and you need this in order to get that rolling. And then we're running, so the Newman lock consists of Swap Frog, Newman, and Dupe Frog. Being able to summon Swap Frog from deck with Gigantic, sending Newman to grave, and then you make Toad with the Reproductus, which is my extra, and then you get to summon out Dupe Frog during the standby phase of your opponent's turn. So they can't attack into Newman, they can't summon over 1800, and it says 2000 defense. So it's just it just completely locks them out of the game.
And for players who don't know, what does this card do?
So this card says that neither player can special monsters with 1800 or more attack. And so not only does this have 1800 defense, it just completely outs them. Into cash, the only thing that they can do is activate Birth and then normal summon. But since you're putting up a Toad on top of it, whenever they activate Birth, you go cool, Toad effect, negate, and steal, and then they're dead. They can't play through. That lock won me multiple games today. And then the 1 card starters. So we run 2 Cyber Gadget, 1 Silent Mining. This engine is very good if you're not playing into cash. Macro makes this engine irrelevant. But if you're not into macro and you're not into cash, this engine is the best engine to start with. It always gets you into a Lingribo, which is insane into most decks. You have an out to Imperm at super early in your turn, and it gives you a level 2 token, which is just absurd. And then Silent Mining, there's a lot of cards in this deck that you're cool with discarding, and so this is not a neg in the deck at all. Then we're also running the Beavers, Nimble Beavers, and the Anglers. This is just a standard issue SPRIGHT necessity. It also facilitates the synchro plays in the deck. And we're running 3 Plague.
Woo!
No one knows what to do against this card. This card's insane for a couple reasons. One, just the synchro plays in the deck are just insane. Secondly, having this in the graveyard is so important because it's a free level 2 that summons back every turn. And that is insane because you can only summon it back, go into an XYZ, detach it, it's in grave, it's an extra body. There was one time today that I did that, detached the Plague, special summoned it back out, so I had an extra body for Gamma Burst to go for game. So it's just a lot of really cool plays you can do with this Plague, and then you also get the synchro stuff, which is just absurd. And then we're running Cupid Pitch, and so these are my 2 Cupid Pitch targets. Caligo Claw is the extender, so if you need an extension piece, you go for Caligo Claw. If you already have the extension, you go for Hoppier Squadron, and it turns your Boral Savage into 2 Omnis. So you go from Boral Savage after you see it negate, then you use Hoppier Squadron, targeting your Boral Savage, and go into Baron afterwards. And then we're running Adventure, so 3 Water Enchantress, 1 Griffin Rider. This engine is insane. There's only 1 card in the whole deck that conflicts, and that's Beaver. And in those situations, I usually just normal summon Beaver. Beaver will net you much more advantage than this engine will, and usually I just hold it for the next turn and just crack boards with it. And then, of course, the 3 Rite of Aram is here. the Fateful, Dracoback, and Foolish. Now, Foolish isn't just an adventure card in this deck because you are running the Plagues, the Nimbles, and stuff. So you should have a lot of different power cards in the deck that you can send with it. And this card, opening this card, is just always insane. And then, of course, in this meta, in 60, you have to run a lot of going second cards. So this is the going second engine, or just the interaction engine. 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 2 Droll, 2 Book. Now, the reason I run 2 Droll, 2 Book in 60, I know it's weird, but I didn't want to run 3 of 1 and then like 1 random card. Oh, sorry. I'd rather just run 2 and 2, just so that way I have the access to both. This card was glued to my hand the whole day. Like, doing this, going second is insane. Like stopping a Baron or like any sort of, like I played against Sword Soul a couple times today. Just like setting their stuff is just so insane. And then we main 2 thrust and 1 triple tack. This thrust was insane. Drawing it is insane. There's so many power 1-ofs in this deck, or not power 1-ofs, but power normal spells like for Foolish Burial, the Rights, Signet Mining for the Cyber Skagit. There's just so many different cards that you can go to if you need to for extension, and then also if you're going second, it just breaks boards, and so like you have to run it. It's how you beat cash. It's insane. If I had enough space, I'd probably run 3, or if I even owned a third, I'd probably run 3. And then Tactics was insane today. There were a couple times today where I used it as just a change of heart, and just changing heart my opponent's monster so I can go for game. And then 3 Imperm, necessary in this format. And then the card that was glued to my hand every single game, evenly in the main. This card stayed in my hand. I drew this as 6 card at least 4 times today, 3 or 4 times today. Every time this resolved, I won the game.
I don't know your name. Tyler.
And that's 60. Into the extra. So, Toad, of course. Ninja Mosquito. This card was the latest addition to the deck. I wasn't running it before, but having 2 cards in your deck, either Ninja Mosquito or the Gamut Burst, that are completely like searchable or just like you can get to this any time, that can just end games, is so important for this deck and Sprite in general. Sometimes Sprite just can't get over a big monster, or Sprite can't like go for game. This allows you to do it. Mannequin Cat. This card is the most broken card in the entire game. This card won me so many cash matchups, won me so many just random shit, like being able to like summon someone's Ash to their field, so that way they can't imperm evenly or anything, and then you got to summon out Carrot or Red from deck. That's insane. Just having that bit of extension, but also with Ash, which I did a couple times, you can do this, summon your opponent's Ash, and then you can summon Plague from deck because it's a zombie. And so then you can get into Synchro plays with it, or you can just have a Plague in rotation, so that way you always have Plague or a level 2 kind of in the field and use it for like Gigantic and stuff. And then 2 Gigantic, which is necessary. You need to run 2, especially in this format with cash. I think I would always run 2, but it's so good. And then the 1 Zeus. I never made this today.
Really?
Every time I played against cash, they would look at my extra deck, I would laugh, and they would take this out and banish it. Because they didn't know what else to do. Yeah. I was running 2 Sprint, necessary. This card is like a power card in the deck. Being able to send Plague, Nimble, and like anything else that you need is just super good. Reproducus, this is for the Newman lock and just for the making Toad. And then the 2 necessary pieces that lead into kind of the bullshit of the deck. Lingeribo and Almirage. Now, the reason why these are necessary is because of the fact that you're running Boral Savage in your deck, and so you have to have a link monster engraved for it to be relevant at all. And since we don't have like all the cards of like the next couple sets, this is the only way to make that card live and make the engine like work. And then we were running 1 Cupid Pitch that led you into 1 Boral Savage. That if you had the Hoppier Squadron, or just depending on what you had on field, you can go to Baron. You can this is like the main Synchro package. All this stuff is insane. Cupid Pitch, very nichely relevant, burns for 800, which I won in time in locals before, but it didn't come up today. I was just like, I had it almost every game if it got to that. But this engine was insane. And then we ran one Heralded Arclight. I never summoned this today, but I run this for Sprite. When they go into Sprint, usually I leave up one body on field, and so I can hop your squadron with the one body to go into Arclight when they activate Sprint, and then the thing they send gets banished. And that's just really good, and then you have an Omni on the field. And then for the side deck, 3 Lancia to start. This card I added in last night, and I was like asking my buds for this. This card is absurd. This won me every single cash matchup. I would side this in going second, or going first as well. That way if someone even lead me, I would have the Lancia for it. It never came up, and I never drew it, 60, you know. But against cash, I drew this every time. It was kind of crazy.
Only when you need it.
Only when I needed, I drew it. You know what I mean? One Ryo. I never put this in because I never played against Sprite. If I was playing against Sprite, this is what goes in. Simple as that. Or Drytron or something. There was a Drytron top 8, and if they went against me, they were cooked. And then one Christia for my last Mannequin Cat target. Now, this went into my deck once, and the one time that I put it in my deck, I opened up good enough to Newman lock my opponent, and so I couldn't summon this from deck, so I couldn't summon it because it has too much attack. But like I put this in against what the heck is it called? Sword Soul, just because they have like Incredible Ecclesia and some other cards. Just in 60, you don't expect to draw everything or a Shuna or something, and so you can like summon this and just completely lock out their turn. And then this is mainly for Despia. And the reason why is because in Despia they have like Lubellion, they have Aluber, which is a fairy, and so when they like branded opening, summon Aluber from deck, you can go Mannequin Cat, target, and then summon Christia from deck. And then you sit on a Christia, and then they can't do anything. You're like, nice branded fusion you got there, you can't do anything. And then one Red Resonator, this won me one game today. It's also nichely a tuner, so you can do tuning plays with this deck, which nobody really recognizes. Then 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster. This is for like trap decks like Trap Tricks and Labyrinth. Those decks are just really hard to beat for this deck, and so having these are just important. Oops. And then I'm running 2 D-Barrier, 2 Eradicator, and 2 Trap Trick. This engine was insane today. Just being able to side in, like going first, 4 of one of these is absurd. Just being able to like constantly see one of these and just completely blow out your opponent, depending on the matchup, is so important. And so this engine I would never change, especially in 60. It gives you 4 copies of the card that you need, and it's absurd.
So I'm gonna say a little bit of how are we summoning this guy here? Because I know you showed me this, but some people might not know how that's gonna get off.
So in this deck, the way that you do it is you just summon Gigantic with a Sprint underneath or something.
There you
so
go.
that way it has 3,200 attack.
All right, and it's easy as that.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, so you said that there's going to be support coming in the next couple months. What cards are you suggesting we look at?
So I mean, there's Excel Synchron that's out right now. I can't run in this deck because Plague banishes itself, and that's like pretty important for that. But like the Apple Worm card and the next set is going to be really good, and then Assault Synchron is going to make this deck just completely blow up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this for me, and congratulations on your top today.
Thank you.
All right. And for Dual Radio, we are signing off.